Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. I'm trying to free your mind.
I'm sure most of you know what end-to-end encryption is, but if you don't, in a nutshell, if you send a message, end-to-end encryption ensures that only the sender and the receiver can view the message. Apps like Signal, WhatsApp, and Telegram use this feature. The Earn It Act puts encryption in jeopardy, and most importantly, our constitutional right to privacy would be attacked. So here's a summary of the Earn It Act. It's been around since 2021. Here we go. Eliminating Abusive and Rampant Neglect of Interactive Technologies Act of 2022, or the Earn It Act of 2022. This bill revises the federal framework governing the prevention of online sexual exploitation of children. The bill establishes the National Commission on Online Child Sexual Exploitation Prevention. The commission must develop best practices for interactive computer services providers, example Facebook and Twitter, to prevent, reduce, and respond to online sexual exploitation of children. Additionally, the bill limits the liability protections of interactive computer service providers with respect to claim of violations of child sexual exploitation laws. The bill replaces various statutory references to child P and material that contains child P with sexual abuse material. Finally, the bill makes changes to the reporting requirements for electronic communication service providers and remote computing service providers who report apparent instances of crimes involving the sexual exploitation of children to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Among the changes, the bill requires providers to report facts and circumstances sufficient to identify and locate each minor and each involved individual. The bill also increases the amount of time that providers must preserve the contents of a report. So last week, the Senate Judiciary Committee voted for a third time to advance the dangerous Earn It bill, a law that could lead to suspicionless scans of every online message, photo, and hosted file. If enacted, Earn It would put massive legal pressure on internet companies, both large and small, to stop true end-to-end encryption and instead scan all user messages, photos, and files. Congress has tried to say they'll protect encryption, but if you take a closer look at the bill, there's some fine print. I'll put the full bill in the description box if you want to read it yourself. But basically, if you look at some of the buzzwords here, like best practices, if you look at best practices, they're looking for tech companies to implement standards of categorizing data and a bunch of other things. And under the Earn It Act bill, tech companies would be obligated to send data to law enforcement before a message is encrypted. So if this bill passes, companies have to choose from securing our data or a lawsuit for not falling in line. And if they don't, they would be accused of not allowing lawful access to their systems. And their systems in that case is really all of our private message data, photos, etc. And I imagine the tech companies will fall in line. Now, like I said, they've hidden this attack on privacy behind buzzwords like best practices and child protection and lawful access. Now, I do agree that protecting kids online is a top priority, but these type of things don't just end with protecting kids. If you're requiring companies to remove encryption on potentially dangerous material, the line on what's dangerous gets blurred. It's only a matter of time for that bill gets expanded to include extremists or accounts that spread disinformation. And there are still honest people out there who need private messages to communicate in hostile environments like war-torn countries or abusive homes. Is it a good idea to risk their lives because of the potential of harm? Plus, companies like Facebook and Apple already scan content for illegal materials. It might actually make it harder to prosecute criminals because tech companies won't try to scan for anything anymore. They'll just hand everything over to the feds. They'll say things like, this is Congress's job to scan for CSAM, not ours. We're not going to do the work. So now you put the onus on lawmakers to control and monitor CSAM on tech platforms. First of all, they're completely underqualified to do that job. They're barely qualified to do their job as lawmakers now. And second, they don't have the bandwidth. They're focusing on other things. They're focusing through their alphabet agencies are focusing on other larger scale projects anyway, larger scale crimes anyway. Now, this is an important thing to monitor, but they haven't really done a good job of stopping it now before all this. So how are they going to have time to work on it? Honestly, the Earn It Act might actually be more effective to stopping this type of material if there was like a clause to just teach parents how to use the internet. If parents know how bad actors are in the normal web or dark web, they can teach the kids themselves. The internet is obviously a helpful tool for children trying to learn, but I think parents need to learn how to navigate that tool before shoving a tablet into their kid's hand. Just blocking explicit sites or using parental controls is a good start. Kids don't need every website at their disposal to do homework. Most adults don't even make it past first page in Google when they research things anyway. Or you don't have to give the kid internet access right away. They can learn with offline resources. Put public domain resources on an external drive or a family file server and they can view it offline. Public domain books, podcasts, and movies are all legal. They're free and downloadable. Most of it is available on Internet Archive anyway. Just keep the internet simple and safe for kids. You don't need the feds to do that for you. You can start right at home. Please like and share to hack the YouTube algorithm. Thanks and take care.